So if a new student comes in and he signs up, he gets to instantly roll the dice, pick a date, pick a Friday night or a Saturday to do his party. We schedule it in the book. Next week, we give him invitations to go ahead and send those out. We just do follow-up calls. If it's 2 weeks away, I'll contact him through email, text, or a phone call to let them know we're excited about him and them and their friends coming to their party. So they roll the dice. For instance, this weekend, I'm doing a new student buddy bash at 10. I have two parties I put together. They're both pizza parties. So they're here at noon, and then I got a dodgeball party at 1:30. So they roll the dice, they look on the poster board, you get a 2, you get a dodgeball party. You get a 3, you get a pizza party, and so on. And you can do whatever pizzas that you want. And it'd be kind of cool to have the bounce house out all morning, mid-afternoon, people to drive by just to see what's going on.
Hey, for everyone who just got on, we haven't started yet, but this is Jerry Prince. Jerry Prince works with Zach Sealkis. They had opened a new school in, I keep forgetting the name of your town.
It's Irmo, South Carolina.
Irmo.
Just a little north of Columbia.
So they've done almost 40 students in the last 30 days. They signed up 38. One of the things they're doing is they're not waiting for students to have a birthday party to do like a mass intro. They're giving all their students an opportunity to have a party. So they do pizza parties and they do dodgeball parties. So they have different themes parties. And on, like Jerry was just saying, this coming Saturday, he's got 4 back-to-back parties. During these parties, kids can have a chance to roll a dice. And for the numbers on the dice, they have corresponding prizes. So it could be a free class, it could be 2 classes, it could be a dodgeball party, it could be a pizza party, and it could just roll again. So now all the kids that are coming in off these parties have a chance to have their own party. So he's found out 2 things that are working really good this month. One is his location. And his location is a standalone building. They have some picnic tables on the outside, so they can do the parties on the inside. They can do the pizza and everything outside. So it looks like there's a lot of activity. He was also saying that on some parties they do a bounce house. He likes the bounce house because it just shows a lot of activity going on this martial arts school. So, which is very, very cool. I mean, that's all social proofing. When people go by on a Saturday and they see all these cars, the kids outside and bounce houses, people just assume this has to be the martial arts school to be at. Look at all the activities. So, great results.
Absolutely.
So we got Mike's on. Great. We got a real good crowd today.
Good morning.
Good job. I used to do this meeting the 15th of each month. I probably haven't done it in about a year, so I thought it'd be a good time to review. That's just like the business systems. Let me just share my screen in a second here. So the whole idea, this is Zig Ziglar saying that you have to plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win. A lot of times when I see things on Facebook, a lot of people expect to win. It seems like everyone's got a positive attitude. Everyone's sending out positive memes. Memes are all motivated, and so we've got that going. The lack of success comes from either planning to win or once we come up with a plan, really prepare that plan. So that's kind of what I want to do today. And we're actually starting at the mid-month. So everyone had some type of goals, or hopefully you had some type of goals at the beginning of May. Now we're halfway through May. It's really important to check in, check out, and check up. And the first thing we want to do is check in. Check in is just examining our numbers. So the first half results is what we're really looking for. So these numbers are really important for you to have right now. Your gross. Where are you right now as far as gross money? This isn't just from your check. This is from your entire gross, down payments, paid in fulls, pro shop, events, all the money you've taken in to this point. We also want to check in on our numbers of inquiries. How many people have asked about our school, maybe registered for more information on the website, made a phone call to you, but they made some type of inquiry? We want to know that number. We also want to know how many appointments we made so far. So I had all these people asking, inquiring, leads, this and that. How many appointments did I make? So like he was talking to Jerry Prince, he's doing these birthday parties. If he does 4 birthday parties, each one has 10. He actually had 10 inquiries. Out of those 10 inquiries, how many people actually made an appointment to come in and try a regular class? Out of all those appointments, how many people actually took a trial? I think most people now are doing a 1-lesson trial. I know some people are still doing 2, maybe doing a 6-week program. But how many people actually put their mat or their feet on their mat and tried an experience or tried a class at your school? How many people enrolled? This is one number that we're really trying to work on every single month. Martial arts school is great for teaching people, but the martial arts business is all about getting new people enrolled in our school. People quit. It's just a natural process. That's the churn or attrition in martial arts school. We're going to lose some people, so we always make sure we replace them, and we have to add on a few more for us to grow. How many people upgraded? They were on maybe a 6-month program, and now they've upgraded either on an open-ended program or they upgraded to a 2-year program. How many people renewed? What is your net gain so far for the month? So if you sign up so far 10 people and you've lost 7 this month, well, the net gain is 3. So we want to make sure we're growing in a positive manner, and so we are looking for that net gain. Once we check in and we know all these numbers, we want to make sure we know the gap to the goal on the gross, the gap to the goal on enrollments, upgrades, and renewals. So if my goal is to do a $30,000 gross, and I'm at $15,000 right now, my gap to the goal is $15,000. Figuring there's over 15 days left for the month of May, that gives me approximately 15 days to get $15,000. It's really important I know that number. So there's 3 things we do each month. One is check in, one is check out, and one is check up. Checking in is, I want to see my numbers. Where do I stand right now? A lot of this is on your homepage on Rainmaker, so you can easily get these numbers. If you don't have those on Rainmaker, then you just have to figure out how they're going to put it in. But I really stress that you go over these to start. So after we check in, we also want to look at our victories and have celebrations. So we're looking, okay, we're doing this so far. I mean, Jerry Prince really has some victories and celebrations. He's already done 18 new students in the first 14 days of May. That's a victory we want to celebrate. I was recently talking to Charles Jernigan. Last year, his goal for month was $30,000. I asked him how he's doing so far this month. This month, he's already at 20. That's a victory. I mean, he's headed for a $40,000 month. That's a victory. We want to see these victories and celebrations because it's not just about achieving the goals. Part of the process of making more money and doing better at your school is to see how far you came. So we've got to look back. I know we don't live in the past, but we want to look back and say, man, I've been doing this for this. I made this victory. I've got to celebrate this. That's all part of the process. It gives us belief and makes it more likely that we're going to expect to win. When I'm looking back on victories and celebrations, say, hey, I got this. You know, maybe the process a little bit slower than I was hoping for, but I'm making progress, and it's going to strengthen your will or your belief in that, you know, success is possible, and I'm going to more victories. Okay, checking out is the next thing. Checking out is a little bit weird, and I was talking to Robert Spoon today. Robert's got a traditional martial arts school in Boston. I go, how does the school feel? This is what we do, check out. I want to check out my school. Maybe I'm just watching the parents, and as they're watching classes, I'm watching my front-end manager. What's my gut feeling? How does this feel? And he used this word I thought was really good. He goes, you know, I was watching classes yesterday, and the vibrations were low. People who can feel the school successful, that's their gut. In other words, you're looking at classes, man, I get chills because I can feel this excitement. I can feel the energy the students have. Everything's right on point. You know, the parents are coming up. They're thanking me. They're high-fiving me. Hey, we'll see you again on Thursday. Now, I've got a gut feeling that the school is doing really, really well. It's almost like taking inventory. When I say taking inventory, I'm talking about being an instructor. If you're an instructor and you just ask your students to do these moves and you're watching them, you take inventory. So you're looking at the student and go, hey, they're doing this really well. As far as the technique goes, they've got this memorized. They could do this a little better, and they could do this a lot better. That's the inventory. Now, as a good martial arts instructor, when I open my mouth, I'm going to say something positive. So you have to look at your school, look at the inventory. Okay, it's pretty good. I had a lot of parents on their cell phones. That wasn't so good. I had one parent complain that the class got started late. That wasn't good. This parent said, hey, the birthday party we just had last week was the best we ever had. That's my inventory. And I've got to look for those positive things in the inventory, and I have to list all the things that weren't positive, because that's what we're going to do when we call checking up. So checking out is the gut feeling. It's taking inventory of everything that's happening. It's listing all the things that you're really liking about your program. It's just that gut feeling of your vibrations. And it's noticing that things that need attention or things that need improvement. So now that we know all these numbers, we have to know what needs to be done daily for the financial gap to goal. So what do I need between now and the end of the month to reach my financial goal? Take that number, divide it by how many days, and that's what you have to do on a daily basis. And then you have to say, is the current plan I have sufficient? In other words, okay, I'm looking at this, I have a gap to goal for $10,000. I still have 6 people in my books that are coming in and taking intro classes. I still have 4 people that I need to talk about upgrades and renewals. Well, my current plan is probably sufficient. You know, that's quite a bit of money. If I can get 6 people in the school, 3 people are going to pay in full, that's $3,000. 3 people give me a down payment, now I got $4,000. I'm going to get another down payment on renewals. The current plan is sufficient. All of a sudden you're looking and say, I need $10,000 gap to the goal. That's about $700 per day. I don't have anything in the pipeline. I don't have anyone going to take intros. I've already talked to the 5 people that need renewing, and they're going to think about it for another 30 days. Okay, what do I have to do now? My current plan isn't sufficient. So now you have to decide, what's my plan B? Okay, now what I have isn't doing well. I have 15 days to make a difference, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to go out and do flyer my town. I'm going to call all ex-students. I'm going to call all prospects that have come into my school and haven't signed up in the last year, and I'm going to tell them about my summer program. So what are you going to do to take action so you can make your goal? This is, again, we have to plan to win, and we have to prepare to win. This is really preparing. You know, I had a plan at the beginning of the month. Now I have to prepare and replan to make sure that I create the business in the next 15 days. So if the plan is not sufficient, we're going to number 3 here. If it isn't sufficient, what should be done in the next 17 days? This is your plan B. It's the same thing with new students. We talk about financials. You know, my new student goal, I really like setting the goal of 10% of my active count. So if I have 150 students, my goal is to get 15 students that month. 15 students is going to take care of my attrition or my churn. It's also giving me enough students so I'm constantly seeing growth. So 150 students, right now I'm at 5. That gives me 10 to the end of the month. I have 10 opportunities, or I have 10 students that I must enroll in the next 17 days. And now, how are you going to do that? What's your marketing going to be? What's going to be different that's going to change? Are you going to do a community event? So maybe I'm thinking, well, I have to really create a mass intro. I like to get 25 people in here taking a class. So I'm going to plan on a program for summer safety. And summer safety is going to be kind of an anti-abduction. It could be bullying proof, and it could just be staying healthy and being active in the summertime. And I'm going to call that a beginner martial arts workshop. I'm going to advertise heavy on Facebook. I'm going to send out emails through Rainmaker, make sure all my prospects know all about it. And I'm going to create a mass intro. So that's something I can do different than I'm doing now to make sure I create the activity to make my gap to the goal. So it's knowing the number you want to get, knowing where you are right now, the difference is the gap, and now the gap takes planning. What am I going to do to get that done? This kind of goes back to like old school. You know, you may have a bad day at your martial arts school. You may have a bad week. You should never have a bad month. You know, when did you decide things are slow? Did you all of a sudden think at the last day of the month, man, this has been a bad month? By taking activity and taking this inventory on the 15th, we shouldn't have a bad month. You may have had a bad 15 days of May, but it doesn't mean that the month is going to be bad. Now's the time to take that extra activity. Checking up. Checking up is what you're going to do to make a difference. Okay, that's almost like retraining. So it could be retraining on your end-of-month marketing. You get either network with other people or we're going to get together. You're going to read the newsletters that I'm putting out on Monday on Rainmaker. That's going to give you some good marketing ideas. You're going to look at enrollment stats. You know, if I signed everyone who took a trial class, I would be doing much better. But 6 people did a trial class and only 3 people signed up. So what went wrong? Was it my presentation? Was it my sales presentation, or was it the class presentation? You know, what do I have to do to get that number up? Maybe you just got 3 people that didn't qualify for your school and there's nothing you could do. But you may have 3 people that come in and maybe you just didn't try to discover what benefits they were looking for. You're trying to just sell karate. We're trying to sell the benefits of martial arts that are going to solve this family's problem. So how can I check up and how can I recalculate and learn more so I have better sales to trial classes? Now, all of a sudden I look at my numbers there. We'll go to the gap to goals, pretty good on things, but you know, renewals and upgrades are down. So I have to look, how many people did I talk to so far this month, and all of a sudden they're still on the fence. They said they wanted to do it. They said they were going to talk it over as a family, but they still haven't taken action yet. I have to make appointments to those people soon. I don't want to get to the end of the month and miss those upgrade and renewal opportunities. If all of a sudden I'm looking and go, well, I'm still short on upgrades and renewals, but I've already talked to everyone for this month. That's cool. Who's on the A list for June? In other words, when we start thinking of our students and people that are going to renew next month, I have people that I know that are going to be ready. It's just I talk to these people. They've been here for a while. They love my school. They love my classes. You know, the program's expiring. It's just a matter of me talking to them. Well, why wait to June? Why don't I talk to them now? Get them started a little bit early, and that's really going to help my finances and my renewals for May. So again, who's on the A list for June, and can I talk to them now? Just move them up a little. I also start wanting to think about upgrades, renewals for June. So who's on my B and C list? The B and C list, people are still active in your school, but you may be thinking, you know, they're not as active as they should be, and their attitude's been a little down. What can I do starting now to make sure I can improve their attitude, improve their training, and make sure they see progress before I talk to them in June? That should be on my list. We are also at the 15th of June. This is another thing I want to be thinking right now. Who is ready for their 3rd stripe in graduation at the end of the month? Most schools do their graduations on March, June, September, and December. So we think the end of this month, everyone should be graduating. If people don't graduate, they're going to kind of fall behind. If they fall behind, they lose their enthusiasm. They lose their enthusiasm, all of a sudden their attendance goes down, and pretty soon they're out of the school. So I want to sit down with all my instructors. We're going to go through every student on the list. I'm going to read them off. If there's anyone on this list you don't think that they're ready, I want to highlight those students' name. I want to know who's not ready for 3rd stripe in graduation. And then I have to make sure I have a recovery plan. I don't want to lose these students at the end of the month. I don't want to have people lose their momentum. So I want a recovery plan. Now, a recovery plan could be this. Someone's not performing really good. They need some extra help on performance. Someone has missed too many classes. I shouldn't be stripe testing or graduating because, they've only been here 3 times this month and they should already been here 4 times. So whatever it's going to be. What is my recovery plan? One of the things that I did in my school, we had a HIT class. HIT class was on a Saturday. HIT class was like a 60-minute, sometime a 90-minute class. This was my recovery. If you're behind on classes, to make those up, you had to come to the high-intensity training. That would count for 2 or 3 missed classes, so now everyone's ready for graduation. If I have someone that doesn't have the form down really good, I got to talk to the parents. Now, I want to make sure that your child passes for the stripe test and passes for graduation. I want them to come to the HIT class. The HIT class is going to give me time. It's high-intensity training. Give me time to work on their performance and make sure they're ready to get their belt and pass this next cycle. That's all about checking up. So I know I talk a mile a minute, so I'm just going to kind of review things. Number 1, check in. It's really important to know your numbers. To me, your numbers are like looking at the gauges at a car. If I have all of a sudden a gauge light that turns red, that's going to tell me that my engine needs servicing, whatever it's going to be. So you're writing down all these numbers, then you're going to look at the numbers and decide what has to be done. Right now, what has to be done is we end the month by hitting all our goals. We have to celebrate our victories. Again, we have to see how far we came to get that belief that we're going to be successful. Next thing is just checking out. Man, I just got to check out my school. I wish I could remember this guy's name. He owns a Krav Maga school in San Antonio. He's got like 50,000 square feet. He trains military down in San Antonio. He's got cars in his school. They actually do carjacking. He's got an airplane fuselage in his school. They plan on hijacking airplanes. He's got 10,000 members. It's like a crazy, crazy school. And I was down there for a business seminar. I was speaking at his school, and he was going to a bunch of us. We're sitting in his lobby. He goes, you know what I do? I come on Sunday, and I feel my walls. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I can just feel how my school is doing. I can feel that vibration. I go, I know exactly how you feel. I can walk into a school, and you can tell if the students are excited and their level of energy. You can actually feel their energy. So checking out your school, that's your gut. The inventory. How's my school doing? Is there anything I have to pay attention to? Or is it just rocking? Next thing is, once you know your numbers, once you know your starting numbers, now you know the gap. What do I have to do between now and the end of the month to make sure I'm successful? Again, thinking, I may have a bad day, I may have a bad week, I'm not going to have a bad month, because I'm replanning and recalculating what has to be done to be successful at the end of the month. And the last one is just checking up. These are things we're always working on, sharpening our saw, trying to get better. End of the month marketing. I want to make my marketing more effective. My enrollment stats. Out of all the people coming in and asking about my school, are 50% of those actually signing up and paying for classes? Do I have enough upgrades and renewals? Getting new students is nice, but closing that back door and make sure it's slam closed is really important. So I have to stay on top of upgrades and renewals. I want to know who's on my June list. I have for referrals. It shouldn't be referrals. It should be renewals here. The 15th of the month, I want to run a list of people who should be coming for renewal in June. So I didn't really detail this enough when I was talking about it the first time. So it's the 15th of May. I'd like to have you run a report, everyone whose program is expiring in June. I really need to know those people, and I really need to know who's an A. Who's a guy who just has to say, hey, Jerry, can you come in the office? It's time to sign up for your program again. Yeah, sure, Greg, I'm going to do that. Some are going to be that easy. Those are your A students. The B and C, they're thinking about it. They're saying, well, how could I spend this $150 maybe a different way? We want to make sure we know those B and C students and what's going to be done. Is it going to be private classes to get them motivated? Is it going to be just talking to them? Is it sending them a good job note? What do I have to do to remotivate them and get that fire going? Also want to make sure I plan for graduation. See, attendance in graduation is really important. Graduation shows people that they're making progress. When people make progress, they get enthusiastic. When they get enthusiastic, they have better attendance. When they have better attendance, now all of a sudden, they're progressing more. So it's a cycle. I don't want to have anyone miss this graduation or third stripe. I want to make sure everyone's ready. I'm going to go over the list with all my instructors. Anyone who's not ready is going to go into my recovery plan. Recovery plan could be like that high-intensity training. It could be extra help. It could be private classes. Whatever it takes, I got to make sure I'm doing my very, very best to make sure that everyone's ready for graduation. Do we have any questions, comments? Hey, Master Valentin's on the phone today. I haven't talked to Mr. Valentin in a long time. Great to see your name up there, sir.
Great to be back, sir. Sorry for ghosting you.
No problem. We got Mr. Baxley. Mr. Baxley just started a Facebook page. It's called, is it Garage Dojo or Dojo Garage, Mr. Baxley?
It's the Garage Dojo, sir.
Oh, Garage Dojo. If you're looking for some motivation and some positive inspiration, check out that Facebook site. Mr. Baxley is one of the board of directors of Black Belt Schools International. He just started this site to help people in his small group in Shotokan Karate and sharing with everyone. It's really, really good stuff on there.
Thank you, sir. And we actually have a private group on there that people can join. It's pretty awesome. It's everybody is the sensei and everybody's the student. Everybody's learning from each other. It's really, really good stuff. I just guide everyone along the path.
I know you've been working a lot of this belief systems and for the past year or so. For those who don't know, Mr. Baxley has a school. It's an MMA school in Dothan, Alabama. We had the contest this year through Rainmaker, the first 100 days of 2019. Who could sign up 100 students in the first 100 days? I think Mr. Baxley did about 140 students. Totally amazing. So thanks for joining us, sir. Really appreciate it. You got a superstar.
What's the Facebook group called?
The Garage Dojo. You can find it from my personal Facebook page, Steve Baxley.
Okay, awesome. And Mr. Silva, you mind if I ask a question real fast?
No, go ahead.
All right, so your HIT class, that's for kids that are behind right before graduation. Would you do that a week before graduation or even month 2 for strike 2?
Yeah, a lot of people do it every third week of the month because we're always trying to make sure everyone's ready for stripe testing. So it gives them an opportunity. If everyone passes their stripe testing, they should all be preparing for graduation. So I have recovery every single month.
Okay. And do you charge for that $20 or is it free?
I do it free. Now, there's people who do it different ways. Some people do it as a class. Other people just do it as open mat. So you have a couple instructors on there. People come in and you work with them like one-on-one because it's not like you're going to get 20 or 30 people to this class. You're probably going to get a half a dozen. So we kind of do it as open mat, parents seeing that they're getting one-on-one attention. It's almost like you're doing private classes in a group atmosphere. You can charge it if you want. The only time I would really charge, though, is if I was doing a private class. Now, I have a student that really needs some extra help, and I recommend the parent that they sign up for a couple private classes to get going. Yeah, I would charge for those.
Sorry. Awesome. I like it.
Yeah. Now, again, we talk a lot about new students, but it's all about retention, too. So that HIT class is really making sure that everyone's seeing progress. Okay, good job, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I will put a recording on this on the Facebook Rainmaker Business Solutions. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking to William Pierce. That's our Wednesday meeting. I don't really have a subject for him for tomorrow. If you have any ideas on how you could use Rainmaker to better serve your students or to take away some of the tasks, send it to me, and I'll make sure I ask William about those questions tomorrow when we talk to him. Everyone else, have a great day. Thank you.
Greg, quick
Yes, sir.
question. When are we meeting? You'll send me a message when we're meeting again?
We're meeting the same time we did last week. I think it was Thursday morning.
Okay.
Okay,
10 a.m.
Yes, sir.
11.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.